Kardec Radio presents Decision in the Darkness. A message from the book Tales of This and the Other Life by Humberto de Campos through Chico Xavier. Chapter 38.
In a dark region in the spirit realm, a group of spirit obsessors discussed how to stop the works of the good on earth. An obsession organizer stated,
Dear companions, currently our intricate problem is Spiritism, renewing teachings everywhere, clear horizons in the human mind.
That's right, a real shame!
Exclaimed an observer of darkness as the obsession organizer continued.
Spiritists create an atmosphere similar to that known in the times of Christ. They do not conform to the expectant faith of the sanctuaries. There is no way to isolate them in inactive prayers. No matter how much we suggest enchantments with melodies and aromas, rituals and panels, the more they move away from magnetic seductions, throwing themselves into the exercise of good. Instead of mystical chests, they prefer bricks for houses of charity. Instead of kneeling, they walk. They exchange fragrant ointments for unpleasant sweat as long as they can serve others. A picture similar to that of Jesus' time, in which caravans to help the unfortunate were carried out wherever the unfortunate were. You know that all this occurs to our detriment, since we need man's energies as much as man needs the ox's resources.
The genius of the shadows blinked his eyes.
It is essential to find a procedure for crushing them, destroying them.
An exalted obsessor suggested,
A declared war is appropriate. Provocation from chamber to chamber.
Nonsense.
said the obsession organizer.
Persecution is a benefit to the persecuted. It should only be done in our own family when we want to awaken a companion and make him more advantageous.
A violent obsessor recommended,
We can promote the extermination of them all. Disasters, poisoning. A motor vehicle is death in galoshes. A poorly dosed medication sponsors discarnation due to carelessness.
Death like that doesn't solve it.
smiled the obsession organizer.
You know that since the crucifixion of Jesus, public victims have not been worth it. Victims are poster children for the ideas they represent. What would be the point of removing these people from the physical body? The ranks of those fighting us would swell here. It is imperative to invent different annulling enterprises.
An evildoer recruiter suggested,
I think it would be great if we managed to form phalanxes and phalanxes of obsessors, capable of invading homes and spiritist institutions, generating madness on a massive scale.
Counterproductive measure.
remarked the obsession organizer.
The multiplied disturbances would induce spiritists to more extensive studies and observations of the principles that they embrace. And you are not unaware that Spiritism, the more it is observed, the more light it provides to thought. Now, it is clear that light does not allow us to serve the shadow.
Will it be possible to engineer new tricks, new mystifications?
Said a confusionist obsessor.
Nonsense, this would bring more study.
Slander and discord, criticism and mockery were never used in vain.
Reminded an old-fashioned evildoer.
All of this is an outdated technique. The people themselves yield from good works. Any insulted person easily overcomes these tricks as long as they talk while working.
The best course of action would certainly be doubt. The greatest celebrations fall into uncertainty, imitating powerful trees when suffocated by birdweed. Let us try to delay the pace of the spiritists, instilling in them vacillation in matters of faith. All it takes is a little more work in our organizations and they will distrust the divine providence and the immortality of the soul, putting an end to mediumship and archiving the doctrines preached themselves.
Affirmed a doubt instiller obsessor, but the obsession organizer was not convinced.
The idea is interesting, but the plan would backfire. There would remain those with an unbreakable spirit who, stimulated by doubt, would decide on a wider incursion into the domains of reality. And, when they spoke, after broader visions of life, they would attract crowds against our own efforts.
That was when an experienced vampirizer spoke.
I have a project that seems viable to me. It will be easy to train a few thousand companions for hypnosis on a large scale, and we will make it so that the spiritists believe they are saints of flesh and blood. We will mobilize legions of our friends who will whisper flattery onto their hearts, making use of mediumship, be it in the spoken or written word, to support mutual praise. We will make them suppose themselves to be heroes and kings, mystics and nobles reincarnated with honorific titles guaranteed from the superior worlds, just as the blessed of ancient times thought they had captive seats in the kingdom of heaven. After this first phase, they will be willing to be good, to live in holy peace with everyone. They will no longer embrace problems. They will consider analysis unnecessary. They will consider not losing the company of the discarnate or incarnate who flatter them. Instead of tiring themselves in the service to others, they will immerse their existence in meditations on spring mattress, waiting for the angels to lend them wings for ascension to happy spaces. They will use silence so that the truth does not bother them, and they will use words when it comes to sugarcoating the lie that favors them. Each one will thus live enthroned in the small court of worshippers who maintain their illusions. They will place earthly considerations far above spiritual assets, so as not to hurt the fans of their friends who incense them. They will abhor disgust and annoyance. They will not want to have anything to do with discernment and reasoning. They will say that evil will be erased by the goodness of God, and will not remember that God awaits for them so that good triumphs over evil, stretching themselves into ineffective meditations about the millennia to come. They will flee the world so as not to lose their immaculate clothing. They will detest any undertaking that aims to move spiritist ideas into the world's plazas, so as not to suffer misunderstanding and wear and tear. In short, there are religions that have saints made of stone or plaster, but we with hypnosis at the base of the action will end up improvising in them saints of flesh and blood on the outside, although they continue in the condition of men and women on the inside. I believe that in this way, as long as they are concerned with preserving the posture and mask of saints, they will have no time at all for the interests of the spirit.
The obsessor organizer was pleased.
Excellent, great.
The boss displayed a broad smile of satisfaction.
Finally, get to work.
And thousands of evildoers and obsessors affirmed promptly,
Very well, very well.